name's John Cooper. I'm a candidate for the United States House of Representatives. This is Brother Clyde. Brother Clyde's pastor of the church here. And Brother Clyde, what's your major concerns today in our government and our Congress and what they're doing and not doing?
Well, there's a lot of illegal things going on that needed to be brought to the front. They say they have all this proof to do these things, and proof that politicians have lied and cheated and sold our uranium and done things to other countries, and yet they don't file any charges. You know, and I'm a Vietnam era veteran, and I was an ordnanceman, loaded bombs, guns, rockets, everything, and I got crippled up, and yet they say they claimed they had a fire in 1973, burned up all the records. Well, in early 1973, late 1972, a 500-pound bomb burst me to the ground. They x-rayed it, and on board ship, but they say that's just my word. They don't have any proof. Well, it burned up. It's not my fault they lost it. Now they don't want to give me any disability, even after they had to put pins and screws and everything in my back for me to live. So, or I'd be paralyzed now completely. But I just wish that they cared more and understood more. The problem is we have people in the Veterans Administration that's not even a veteran. They have no idea what it is to be a veteran, and they're making decisions. And that's the problem, is they think everything is a hoax because it don't line their pocket. There's too much lining one another's pockets. Some of these politicians, they're making $30,000 a year on a job, then they run, and 3 years later they got $40 million in the bank. And it was one of our presidents, I forget his name, but it was back in the 30s. He said if anybody that's a politician becomes wealthy, then they had to be a crook, because they're set on an income. And there are just a lot of things that has to happen. But I just say that we need to take our republic back.
Amen. I can see
it's a republic. America is a republic of the people, by the people, and for the people. And our politicians are supposed to go in and work for the people, not for their benefit and their future and then their sons and you know, they talk about this immigration thing, and President Trump he's trying to cut it off of this family, or what they call it, the chain thing.
Yes.
Well, how come politicians can come in, they can get their children in, they get their grandchildren in? It's the same thing. It's a chain of corruption that goes for years and years and years.
So,
and make all their family wealthy.
You know, that's one of my platforms, is to get Congress and our veterans is a key issue in our conversation. But we're right now trying to get rid of the communist socialists in Congress so we can move forward with our Constitution.
This is a Christian nation. Thank God for Mike Pence. Thank God for President Trump.
Amen.
All right? Because we had a man for 8 years that took his shoes off and kissed the kings of Saudi Arabia. All right? Had Muslim prayer. All of it, brought in Muslims. That is totally opposite to Jesus Christ. And so,
and our Constitution.
All of our Constitution. And if people really study, the 13 colonies were 13 denominations. And if you was a Congregationalist from Virginia, you couldn't be a Presbyterian somewhere else. That's why they had to come together, and they called it the United States. But yet it was united in one thing: Jesus Christ, Son of God, and everybody could worship Him the way they are.
With religious freedom.
That's right.
And the other thing too is we got to get the government out of the church too.
Well, the Constitution says, in other words, the government will have no restraints upon the church. It's not separation of church and state. It's referring to the state has no right to tell the church what to do.
Amen. You nailed that on the head, Brother Clyde.
And so I just pray that everything turns around on Tuesday in the state of Texas and something happens.
Amen.
All these, I'm a Republican, but these Democrats and all what they're trying to do, they're trying to bring in all this killing our babies by the hundreds of thousands. There's more babies killed every day, and the government pays for it. And yet they waste our money for everything. They steal the Social Security, and they try now say it's a benefit. No, it ain't. We earned it. We paid into it. It's ours. Get your hands off of it. It's not to use for welfare for illegals. Legal people work to make it. Now they give it to those that don't work and are illegal.
You knew it was President Johnson that took the money out of the Social Security fund, out of the trust fund, to put it into the general fund to finance the Vietnam War. Did you know that?
Yes, I did, because I was in that war.
Amen. Well, listen, Pastor,
to
thank
meet
you for your comments. Thank you. We're gonna go to Washington. We will make Congress great again.
Amen.